The hate that exists in this country could be our destruction, or it could be our clarion call.
Somewhere along the way, it became okay to just kind of walk over bodies to get to where you're going. How disastrous does it have to become before we bring out the better angel?
I think it's the glue that holds us together. It's just really important because without kindness, we'd all be maniacs.
Wisdom from the mouths of babes there in a new movie titled The Antidote, a documentary the filmmakers say weaves together stories of kindness, decency, and the power of community in America. And joining me now is Kahane Cooperman, 6-time Emmy Award winner and director of The Antidote. Gosh, I'm so glad you made this film, but tell me what motivated you to do it.
Thank you. Well, when I first met my co-filmmaker, John Hoffman, he had raised some money and he had one word, kindness. And this was back in 2018 at a time where I felt really concerned. I felt this pervasive feeling of civility crumbling beneath me, and I didn't understand it. I didn't recognize it as being this place where I lived. And so I thought the opportunity to make this film and explore this aspect of being human that I do believe the vast majority of people share would be a really interesting opportunity. So John and I, set forth and started to try to figure out how to paint this very blank canvas.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you did. Like I said, I always say to people that I think we're more alike than we are different, right? So let's take another look at some of the voices that you chose to highlight.
I'm a hard worker. I want to be a good mom.
The globe is most unkind when we determine that someone's life holds more value than another person's. It's the start of unkindness.
In America, why will people be still sleeping on the street?
You take too good care of me, really do.
The first piece of capital that we all need as humans is trust.
I want to make a change, and I want our generation to be an aspect of that change.
You got a lot of stories, a lot of diversity in the people with whom you spoke. How hard was it to find the people you profiled? And, when you said, hey, I just want to talk about kindness, what was their reaction?
That's a great question. So it was very overwhelming to figure out how we were going to do this. And we really decided early on that we probably couldn't just tell it with one story, and that it might be more powerful to have a chorus of voices representative of all the people who, live in this country. So after much research and conversations and a lot of thinking, we came up with 6 essential questions that we really hoped our film could answer by the end of it in one way or another. And those were, how do we raise our children? How do we teach our children? How do we live and work together? How do we treat the sick and the dying? How do we welcome the stranger? And how do we lead? And we felt like if we could start to find stories, not one for one, but if we found stories that helped answer these questions that represent what we really believe is kind of the breadth of the human experience over a lifetime, that it would help us narrow down what we were looking for. Mm-hmm. But I just want to add that we also realized that it wasn't enough just to ask those questions. Charlottesville happened, and that was a real moment of reckoning for many people in this country. And it made us realize that we needed to really make sure that whatever stories we picked, that they also identified what we called the fundamental unkindnesses. So we identified those as well. It's fundamentally unkind not to have a safe place to sleep, fundamentally unkind not to have access to health care, fundamentally unkind not to earn a living wage. Racism is fundamentally unkind. Homophobia, sexism are fundamentally unkind. And we took those fundamental unkindnesses and we sort of matched them with our questions. And those together became the lens through which we found these stories. Yeah. And the people we reached out to, I have to say, you get an email from a total stranger just saying, hey, we're making a film about kindness. And no one said yes to the email itself, but almost everybody was interested in having a conversation. So that's where the trust started to build to arrive at the stories we did.
So let me ask you real quick, and that is with regard to right now where we are in our society. You look at the reality of the news, of social media on a daily basis, and it can make this film feel like it doesn't reflect America. Did you find a real America here? Is it still there? Is it buried underneath the nastiness that's on the surface?
I have to say, it was not that hard to find this. It really is everywhere. And in the film, we don't identify names and organizations. We instead sort of use drone shots to fly over the country, and we drop into locations, Cleveland, Ohio, or Indianapolis, or Amarillo, Texas, or Anchorage, Alaska, Modesto, California, really all over, Atlanta, Georgia, all over. And then the idea is, there's one of the drone shots. The idea is that really you could drop in anywhere, to any city, to any town, to any small town, and find this kind of thing already happening.
Well,
so I do believe it's out there.
I'm glad to hear that, and I think people can drop in on Amazon. It's streaming right now. It's called The Antidote, and we're all going to be better people for having watched it. We've had a couple of great documentaries on our show today, and I'm really proud to have brought them to our viewers. Anyway, thank you so much, Kahane Cooperman. Appreciate it. Good luck with The Antidote. And that's a wrap for me, everybody. This hour, I'm Alex. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next weekend. Yasmin Baksugian, she's next with What Will Change? It's part of a new series on various policy changes we can expect from the Biden administration. And today, Yasmin focuses on the economy, where it is now, and what Joe Biden can and will do to help.